As New York controls the tip, comes into this game 2-0. A victory over Chicago in their last contest, where they set the WNBA single-game record for most made threes. Ionescu dumps it off to Jones, up and under, and an excellent finish.
New York is such a good passing team, and they do a great job clearing out the side and letting Jones go in the pick-and-roll game.
And now you see Phoebish starting off on Caitlin Clark. New York was pretty coy about how they would defend her. Boston, the roll, the catch, and puts it in for two.
When Clark and Boston play through the middle third with shooters in the corner, that is so dangerous to try to defend. Really good read by Boston.
You talked about it. That's where you want to see the Fever operate, where you feel they're going to have the most success. When we talked to Caitlin Clark, she said early in the season with the new pieces, it's a matter of everybody finding their role. Ionescu, another dish. Jones muscles it in. Two more for her.
So back-to-back layups for the Liberty to start the game. Really good execution by them, and you'd expect that out of a veteran team.
Now Cloud picks up Clark full court as she initiates the half-court offense. Crossover move by Clark. Thought about the step back. Boston this time driving to the paint, and an easy two.
Aaliyah Boston's decision-making has been so good. She's good in the short roll. She's good with putting it on the bounce. She can make plays.
Stewart pump fake, and it opens up like the Red Seas as she gallops to the lane for the lay-in.
3 right-handed layups. That's not something Stephanie White's going to be pleased about.
Here's Mitchell sprinting down the floor. Can't get the layup. Jones controls it up ahead to Ionescu. Sabrina short on the jumper.
Well, you want to make Sabrina dribble into her shots if possible.
Mitchell gets behind the secondary and puts it in.
And Jordan, that's why it's so important for Caitlin Clark to be on the glass, because when she rebounds, her eyes immediately go up the court. She sees 9 players. So good at reading the D.
Kelsey Mitchell, an all-star the last 2 years. You feel she might be the fastest player in the W.
I don't think there's anybody quicker with the ball in the league than Kelsey Mitchell.
Jones already with 6 points and draws the foul.
Doing a really good job of getting points in the paint early.
The foul's on Natasha Howard, her first. Jones steps to the line. No good on the free throw attempt.
Remember, New York is coming off a game where they set the WNBA single season record. They made 19 triples against Chicago in the last game. And New York likes to switch 1 through 5.
And Mitchell took her eyes off the ball. A bit of a late pass coming in from Clark, and that'll be a turnover. Liberty basketball.
When New York switches and Caitlin Clark gets 6'6" Jonquel Jones on her, she's going to pull her out and create space.
That play right there is everything Caitlin Clark told us as far as this team just finding their timing and rhythm. Jones the 3, no good. Clark another board.
New York is doing a really good job of getting into the vision of Caitlin Clark early.
Clark steps on the gas, goes right by Stewart, and picks up the foul. Out in transition, there was really no rim protection there as things opened up for Caitlin Clark. So she steps to the line, adds some tip to the bill. An old-fashioned 3-point play gives the Fever the 1-point advantage.
Caitlin Clark is looking to score in the first 10 seconds of the shot clock. And if it doesn't happen, they can run their actions.
Clark had just 11 points in the road victory over Atlanta. Did not have a 3 for the first time in 140 games. As Cloud off target. Howard this time initiates the break. Howard stepping right through the defense and a heartbreaker at the rim. Cloud up ahead, 2-on-1 opportunity. Stewart, catch, finish. Excellent footwork there.
Yeah, really good push by New York. Look how quickly they get the ball up the floor off the outlet. And Natasha Cloud finding Stewart.
Boston trying to roll, can't handle the catch, and that'll sail out of bounds.
You're trying to always get a numbers advantage, and this is it right here. 2-on-1 in transition. Good job by Kelsey Mitchell not to pick up a cheap foul.
And that's going to be a foul on Howard, and that is her second personal.
And Stephanie White's going to counter with DeWanna Bonner, who's at 6'4", has incredible length. This is an example, Jordan, of her going into the game playing the 4 spot, not starting the game at the 3.
Bonner in the season opener became the WNBA's 3rd all-time leading scorer. Cloud cross-court pass. Ionescu, open 3 on target. And Hull able to scoop up the rebound.
Really good job to get out and contest on A short closeout on Sabrina Ionescu.
When you have players like Ionescu and Caitlin Clark, the way that you defend them, your team slants, Boston galloping to the cup. The connection works again.
There's not a lot of space there to squeeze that basketball through.
Well, you
what a
see
great pass.
The chemistry they developed after a full season together. Cloud barreling towards the cup, and a late whistle comes in, much to the chagrin of this crowd here, and that's it for the Liberty. They gave up 2 first-round draft picks, and it wasn't just about the fit on the floor, but also off the floor, and the chemistry and the identity of this team that she has already attached herself to.
Well, she's leading the team in scoring, and I think it's not just her offense, mostly for Sandy Brondello. It gives them somebody new and fresh to build on their championship season last year. But she's a tremendous on-ball defender, one of the better defending guards in the league.
A couple of screens for Clark. She thought about it. Give and go with Boston. Nearly poked away by Jones this time. Cloud gets the hands up, and Cloud forces the turnover. Liberty back the other way. For the first time in this game, things slow down.
Indiana did a good job communicating their switches right there.
Cloud, the drive, the dish blocked by Boston. And then a collision on the floor, and they're just going to rule this out of bounds as Phoebus All-Stars gotten off to a terrific start here. 6 points. Shots off target. Stewart with the rebound, and she pushes the pace. Jones loses it behind the back. It's a 2-on-2 break. Hull trying to attack Cloud, spinning. Hull elevates and puts it down.
That's a big-time steal and bucket by Lexi Hull.
Confident play by her as well, too. Back to Stewart, and there is the unselfish play of the New York Liberty.
Well, again, shooters in the corner. They have the defense spread out, operating in the middle third. And that's an important call early in the game for freedom of movement purposes.
1-point lead for New York. We'll step aside for a moment. And Indianapolis.
With your husband? I don't know how you guys would handle that with your spouses.
Well, it's good that one of them's on offense, the other one's on defense. I'll tell you this much, Zane was the star of the shoot-around yesterday, as Bonner no good on her, too.
That's kind of the way my marriage is, too. I'm on offense, and he's always on defense.
All I know is I'm out of my league in mine, I'll put it that way. So here we go, New York back on the other end. They're shooting 60% from the field, essentially, as Hull picks up her first foul. During the break, Phoebus, and making her home debut for the Indiana Fever, Sophie Cunningham, who you feel is one of the most impactful acquisitions in the league this year.
I think it was a really good offseason move for Indiana. Sophie Cunningham guards 1 through 4. She brings incredible energy. She does a really good job in their switching defenses, and she can shoot the 3. She's a career 36% three-point shooter.
Stewart right down the middle, and a foul whistled against Chicago, then on Friday, Connecticut at Indiana, and then Los Angeles at Las Vegas. It was interesting when we talked to Breanna Stewart yesterday. And for more on these games, please go to WNBA.com or visit the WNBA app. And when we talked to Stewart yesterday, the championship mindset here for the Liberty, they feel like there's no hangover from last year. This is a very hungry team that has their eyes on repeating.
Well, it's about culture, and they know that they have added some really good pieces. Every team goes through adversity in this league because the league is so good. Then you have to have the right character around you to be able to get through it, and the talent.
And a 3 is good for the Liberty as Sabrina Ionescu knocks it down. So 6-point advantage for New York, their largest lead of the afternoon. Bonner had some airspace. This time gets it down low to Boston. Boston pivoting against Stewart, goes off the glass.
Early in the game, Breanna Stewart's going to show some discipline there and not try to block that shot, but if she stays foul-free as the game goes on, she'll be more of a presence at the rim.
Stewart lost it off her foot. Sabrina scoops it up, 10 to shoot with Boston on her, tries to take her into the deep end, launches another triple, and the former Duck buries it.
Sabrina Ionescu has the WNBA record for most threes in a season, 128. She can shoot it.
And Cloud all over Caitlin Clark. That's her 4th turnover already. And the Liberty bring it back down the floor. Cunningham, Stewart get a little tangled up, and that's going to be a whistle against Cunningham. They call her for the block. Sophie Cast in the association last year. So how do you start correcting some of the things you're seeing here in the first quarter?
Well, ball pressure is the first thing, and sprinting back to your matchups and transition, so you try to get matched up early so you can have who you want defending their personnel. They went through a really detailed defensive scout yesterday.
Clark, a tough bucket, and another and-one opportunity as she goes and wins. And Clark with another 3-point play. She's got 6 here in the first quarter, and we're already seeing a lot of screens deep in the backcourt to try and free open these point guards.
Well, Indiana has played this season with a lot more pressure in the backcourt, and part of that is because they have more depth.
Jones, another easy catch and finish, and to your point, those right-handed layups.
I mean, they have 9 baskets, and I have them unofficially with 7 right-handed layups.
Oh, Clark found a hole in the defense. Bonner with the steal. Hall with another triple. Oh! Fever rising. 5 straight points for Lexi Hall. Ionescu trying to draw the foul and is able to do so. First free throw coming here for Sabrina. Well, tomorrow at 10 Eastern, gear up for Sports Network. Second free throw is good for Sabrina, and you noticed something about her immediately when we saw her shoot around yesterday.
I could tell her fitness, her off-season work. She said October 20th she took a break. Beginning of November she was back in the weight room.
She talked about doing a lot of cardio, wanted to be bulletproof, and so far, Aaliyah Boston's been bulletproof to start this game.
Well, Caitlin Clark has the ball in her hands more in the first quarter to start this game than she did against the Atlanta team.
And that's going to be an offensive foul against the Liberty. 11 field goals for the Fever, and already both teams going somewhat deep into their benches because of some of this foul trouble. Boston will go ahead and take a rest, and Dantas checks into the game for her.
Now Cunningham capable of running the point, so you get Clark off the basketball.
Clark faces a trap, lofts a pass, saved by Dantas. Cunningham sets her feet, knocks down the tray.
Off the broken play, and then the full court pressure.
So the Fever gain the 1-point advantage, just under 40 seconds left here in the opening quarter. And that's going to be a foul as Johannes is trying to sail a pass. That's going to go against Caitlin Clark, and that'll be her first.
One of the things Sandy Brondello told us is be disruptive. So they blitz Clark. There's a deflection. It lays. You got to be able to knock down.
Indiana now 2 of 3 from outside, but Stewart taking another trip to the free throw line.
Keeping an eye on Sandy Brondello, because with Boston on the floor, they didn't trap Clark, but with Dantas, they did.
Let's test your knowledge with today. So Cunningham brings it down the floor, allows Clark to work off ball, as you mentioned, fighting through some contact. That's going to be an off-ball foul, and that'll send Caitlin Clark to the free throw line.
Stephanie White having a really good balance right here of Clark on the ball, Clark off the ball. And you see there's a freedom of movement emphasis in the game. They have to blow that whistle, and that was Febich picking up that first foul, was in a very similar situation up the floor.
How about the start for Caitlin Clark already? And her ability to...
It's a great start, Jordan.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no question, coming off her Rookie of the Year season, first team all WNBA guard.
She mentioned just how nice it was to have some time off. It was such a sprint from the end of her senior season in Iowa, immediately to the W. But now she had an actual offseason. She said, I enjoyed watching basketball in the winter. 6 to shoot for New York. Ball poked away. That's going to bounce out of bounds. Fever Rock with 7.4 left in this quarter.
Really good job of flooding the lane, getting in the gaps, and getting a deflection.
Here comes the full court pressure from the Liberty. They get it into Hull. Clock winding down. Hull trying to pass it up ahead. Poked away. Cloud will have a chance. Dumps it off, and that's going to be a foul on Clark. That'll be her second, and Gardner will head to the...
Okay, Stephanie White trusts her to play with 2. She's picked up 2 in the first quarter already one time this season.
was their Atlanta game on the road, the last game, where she got into some early foul trouble, picked up 4 fouls relatively quickly, was held to just 11 points. But right now, Coach White, as you mentioned, trusting her as second free throw is good for Gardner in her second season, so 1.6. And Cunningham will just hang on to the ball. But how about the opening quarter? 2 teams, they've combined for 17 points, 7 of 8 from the field.
Cloud on Clark.
Clark with 4 early turnovers, as we mentioned, gets the screen from Bonner. Bonner, the pump fake. Bonner, size advantage, lowers the shoulder, stripped away by Cloud. It'll be fever ball with 4 seconds.
With Bonner, get the switch, and Bonner makes the right play. You just got to go rim body ball at the rim.
They've got to hustle. 4 seconds. Back to Cunningham. Cunningham puts it up short of the rim. And Cloud scoops up the board. Bonner, another backcourt steal. Bonner this time picks up the foul. So a Wiley.
Just trying to continue to build here off their 2012 title behind Tamika Catchings.
Also nice for Bonner because she has struggled with her scoring the last couple of games, and that's going to be a foul against Dantas. And so far, a little bit of a tight whip.
Her value is how much she's improved in the offseason.
And that's what you see with the Liberty, is just the depth that they show. Every player stepping on seems to know their role and can confidently do it.
Well, they made some offseason moves, and Benijah Laney, Hamilton not available. She got injured in the offseason.
Cunningham turns the corner and scoops it in. So 5 points off the bench for Sophie Cunningham, her second game back from an early season ankle injury. Burke this time trying to feed it down low, and Phoebish. Little collision, need a shot in Spain this offseason. Started to reset the shot clock to 13 seconds. Ionescu, 6 to shoot, draws 3 defenders.
So good. I mean, sets up her ability off the bounce. Already has knocked down a couple of triples. You got to bring the long closeout and make her dribble into her shots. But she's worked on that mid-range. She told us yesterday. You saw it right there.
Here's Burke, the switch onto Clark. Clark trying to dance one-on-one. Burke, Clark, step back 3. And Clark still looking for her first 3 since 2 games ago against Atlanta. Burke will try the triple, and Burke, a huge 3 right in front of her own bench, and the Liberty take the lead.
She's 7 for 8 on the season outside the arc. Wow, that's an off-season improvement for you.
It was 4 of 4 in that game against Chicago, so all of a sudden an offensive weapon in Kennedy Burke coming off the bench. Cunningham cutting. Cunningham lost control, couldn't get rid of the ball, and that'll be a turnover. 6%. Essentially the whole roster hit a 3 in that game.
Jordan, I watched synergy on all those 19 made threes. 8 different players made a 3. 7 of those threes were set up by getting a piece of the paint.
Kelsey Mitchell back in the game, goes right by Stewart. Will draw the foul and head to the free throw line for a pair.
There's an example of that explosive quickness of Kelsey Mitchell.
It's the second foul on Stewart.
When Coach Brondello walked down to check on her, she gave her the thumbs up, so perhaps we'll see her go back in the standings.
Thank you, Tiffany. Phoebish was second to Tiffany Hayes in the 6th Player of the Year vote last year. And Kelsey Mitchell bounces in the free throw. So Natasha Howard getting back on the floor for Indiana. Keep in mind, she had to check out early in this one, picked up 2 really quick fouls. Mitchell re-signed in January on that 1-year Supermax. As we mentioned, 10th in the MVP voting. Last year's been an all-star the last couple of years, and her continued development has been huge for the Fever. Cloud this time, well defended by Boston. Hull trying to post up Jones, and an excellent pass and catch as Jones gets 2 more.
So smart. Natasha Cloud manipulates that switch and then allows Jonquel Jones to get that post-up lob position.
Jones now one of 3 Liberty players in double figures. Hull no good at the cup, and Cloud will initiate the break.
Natasha Cloud, a big point guard, physical, strong, experienced.
Cloud will try the triple and hits it.
You know, the beginning part of her career, everybody went under all those ball screens, and you see she had incredible space there to step into one off the bounce.
Starting to get cloudy, and a 7-point deficit because of New York and their ability to score in the paint as Boston.
New York in a zone, Jordan.
First time we've seen that. They switch it up. Cross-court pass.
They match up.
Here's Howard, 5 to shoot. Howard picks up the dribble, sails a baseline jumper, no good. Sabrina with the rebound.
New York has not played any possessions of zone leading up to today. They show zone, then they quickly pick back up into man.
The Liberty are on a 10-1 run since Phoebish left the game. With that injury, make it 12-1 as Burke gallops to the cup. It's the largest lead of the afternoon for New York.
And half their points are in the paint. Indiana's got to do a better job of protecting inside out.
Cunningham off target. Burke with another rebound, and that is going to be a deflection out of bounds off of Hole.
It's 10 right-handed layups. That's my unofficial count.
Well, they're shooting 14 of 20, Debbie. 70% in this game. And you mentioned all the paint points, and you talked about that's how they pick you apart. They get all those paint touches and put you in tough positions. Cloud hits another three.
What a great skip by Jones. She's got the mismatch, but that's how unselfish they are.
The Fever scoreless in 6 of their last 7 possessions now. Cloud over the top. What a catch by Sabrina as she gets the finish and the foul. And all of a sudden, the Liberty starting to pull away.
Be herself, and they appreciate that from her. Both Stewie and Sabrina talked to us about how New York has embraced her and that she brings the confidence and the versatility as well as being a great leader for this group.
Mitchell, the baseline catch goes high off the glass. Can't get the finish. Cunningham, offensive rebound. Mitchell working the baseline. Tough three over the defender. Buries it. A much-needed bucket for the Fever, and Sabrina right down the court going coast to coast.
Transition defense. You make them take it out of the net, you got to be able to match up quicker.
Ionescu with 15 points. Mitchell patrolling the baseline, trying to eye a hole in the defense. Wants to work it on Jones. Will try another three, in and out. A little friendly fire as 2 Liberty players come crashing into one another, but a foul on the floor whistled against New York. Clark over the top. Boston.
The pass is exactly on the target hand. That action is the best action Indiana has in their offense.
12 points for Boston, 7 assists for Clark. Still a 12-point lead for New York as they shoot a sizzling 74%. Just under 4 minutes left in the first half. Cloud takes the contact and pirouettes to the cup. And she's now the 4th member of the Liberty in double figures.
Well, New York has Indiana all spread out on their defense.
In that game, and really the definition of fearless if you look that up amongst a lot of players. Ionescu curling. Cloud has had the hot hand, gets it down to Jones, defended by Boston. 7 to shoot. Cunningham feints. Cloud, jab step, puts up the 3, and it's short.
In New York, because they've shot it so well, they should be better in their transition defense. They haven't sent anybody to the glass.
And there's Mitchell screaming towards the cup for 2 more. Stewart will launch a tray. And now it's Clark that'll bring it down.
See how they shadow Clark with 6'4", 6'6", and then she gets the matchup she can score on.
Clark, no good. Boston right there to clean it up, and a timeout on the floor for New York.
The last 2 buckets for Indiana, they were getting some momentum in their transition game, and you have to take Indiana's transition game away.
Kelsey Mitchell has provided a spark coming back into this game after New York built that lead on a 12-1 run. 10 left to shoot. Ionescu, size 2, drives baseline, has to try to find a safety valve, flips the pass. What a find. Jones poked away by Mitchell. Clark, step back tray. Caitlin Clark still without a 3 in this game. And this time the pass off the backside of Burke. Clark and Stewart come crashing to the floor, and that'll be...
Shoot your way out of it.
We talked to her about What are some of the things some of your mental coaches have told you that have really stuck? She said, I just have to trust how good I am and the fact that I put in the work and keep at it. Three-pointer way off target. And now you've seen a couple of consecutive stops for the Fever.
Now Caitlin's going to wait for Aaliyah Boston here.
Goes over the top. Boston, the catch, fading away, goes off the glass.
Really nice job of loading to the strong side and allowing Aaliyah over the top. When Caitlin Clark wants to get a bucket, she's looking for Aaliyah Boston, either as the recipient or as somebody who can assist her in making a play.
Boston has been perfect this afternoon. A game-high 16 points. Stewart in and out. Just under 90 seconds left here in the first half. Clark trapped on the sideline, surrounded by Stewart, and calls a timeout.
Tiffany White is pretty good at drawing up an ATO.
They go the handoff. Clark for three. Still without a triple. Howard, offensive rebound, comes crashing in. Boston able to save it. Clark, another cast. And it has just been a tough go from outside for Caitlin Clark. And then a travel and a turnover by the Liberty. So you start. Under a minute left here in the first half. Clark working off the ball. Mitchell feeds it to her. It's Boston that has been sensational for the Fever. 8 of 8 with 16 points. She rolls, catch. Boston 1-2 step. Her first miss, trying to get her miss. Scoops up the offensive. Who had just 4 points, 2 of 7 from the field against Atlanta. In that victory on the road, it was her lowest scoring output in the last 38 games. Did the Fever get the win? Ionescu, and that's going to be a foul against New York. Bending. Cloud trying to determine where the screen's coming from. They switch. Clark loses the dribble, feeds it back to Boston. Boston to the corner. Bonner wide open for three. Hits the side of the backboard, and New York will have one more chance. Ionescu looking down low. Stewart past Cunningham, and a whistle comes in with
1.5 points per game.
Usually that trends that direction when you're leading in those categories.
You know what, and all that is because they're unselfish. They have a culture of making the extra pass. They go from good to great, and they've got plenty of talent to make plays.
Stewart, the two-time MVP. It's the second free throw. And Boston will not be able to get a shot.
And to take it out of the net.
One of the early stories, Caitlin Clark still without a three. She was held without one in their last game against Atlanta, breaking a 140-game streak. Whole corner three. And how about that start for the Fever?
If you can make New York take it out of the net, you have a better chance in the quarter court, but you've got to protect inside out.
That's the lead to 6. And now you're starting to see some of that physicality on display. Ionescu stops on a dime and hits the floater.
I mean, she is so good and very challenging to defend, but you have to take something away, and you can't let her spot up. Mitchell
for the triple, and that is going to be out of bounds on the catch.
Good footwork. You don't see many players step out of bounds anymore. They've all worked on it so much.
It's interesting with Sabrina, when we were talking to her about what she works on in the offseason, she acknowledged that teams are going to force her into the paint. And she really has done a better job of finishing. Doesn't get it to go that time, but has been solid throughout this game.
You see, that's the way you defend her. Lexi Hull, long closeout, make her put it on the floor.
Clark over Burke. That's going to be long. And Stewart with the rebound. So Clark now 0 for 6 from 3.
Yeah, there's a recalibration that's getting ready to take place.
And then Jones fouled as she was going to the cup. And
that they had a deep bench. They were able to be versatile and find other ways to score, even though they were missing that part of Caitlin's game. But she said it's a fine line. We need Caitlin hitting threes, and we know teams are going to gang up on her. So in those times, the message to Caitlin is to let us help you and work to get in position.
So space, screen, angles, timing, all of that important, but you're not going to change the way you're going to defend Caitlin Clark, because she sees a big basket, she can rattle off a couple in a row.
Yeah, it can correct itself at any time. She's got the 8 assists, 7 points. Mitchell this time turning the corner, fends off the defender. What a finish for Kelsey Mitchell. And then Hull just melts on the screen. Jonquel Jones setting a solid one. And then Jones, her three is short. Clark will retreat the dribble this time, resets it with Boston. Howard, who had a very quiet first half because of foul trouble, double teamed, and that's going to be a foul again.
Mitchell sprinting ahead of the basketball. Then here, just Indiana doing a good job clearing out the backside.
A terrific catch from Aaliyah Boston. With one hand able to catch, bring it in, and go right back up. Boston now with 19 points. She's 9 of 10 from the field. Jones back-to-back threes, no good. Here comes the break. Fever moving. Clark nearly lost it. Oh, the pump fake, left-hand drive, fading away, off target. A battle down low. Howard gets tangled up. They're going to whistle a jump ball. You wonder, too, with Howard's presence, as another backdoor cut is good. Oh, slicing through the D.
That 90-degree cut on the baseline. Lexi Hull so good at it. And Natasha Howard does a really good job of dribbling right at Hull's defense.
Burke whips it past to Jones, pats it over to Stewart. They go around the horn, but can't complete the three. Mitchell up ahead, bounce pass just outside the reach of Kelsey Mitchell. Some really good minutes off the benches. Leonie Febish is questionable with a left shin injury, the typical starter. We haven't seen her since midway through the second quarter. Ionescu tied up, but a foul called against the Liberty. Let's see.
I mean, you can't over-rotate, and you have to make sure you guard the player in front of you. It's really important to keep him in front.
Sabrina directing traffic. Stewart, pump fake, puts it on the deck. 1-2 step with the left, and a whistle against Howard. That'll be her fourth. In this game, New York sprinted ahead in that second quarter, but now the Liberty not finding the same efficiency that we saw early in this game. Clark, Boston, Howard, Mitchell, and Hull on the floor for the Fever. Cloud, Jones, Burke, Stewart, and Ionescu. Boston taking her time, kicks it back out to Hull. Stop it, pop it, hits the midi.
Really good job staying active on the weak side, cutting and moving, keeping the weak side defense occupied. And then just a nice turnaround jump shot by Hull.
How about the game for Lexi Hull? Gets the start this afternoon, 14 points, 6 of 8 from the field. And a monster collision. Jones going to get whistled, so Lexi Hull asked around Caitlin Clark this year that she doesn't have to shoulder the whole load. Boston, the floater, popcorns in. We've got a 2-point game.
I mean, that is the best action, and it delivers. Caitlin's vision and her timing on the delivery. Aaliyah Boston, her ability to catch.
New York led by as many as 15 in this game as Cloud skates to the cup for a much-needed 2.
She has the best plus-minus on the team for New York. At halftime, she was plus 16.
As we mentioned, just a seamless fit for the culture and court fit for the Liberty. And then this time an illegal screen against Boston as she was trying.
Aaliyah Boston is so good at making decisions in a short roll.
Stewart had a terrific start in the first quarter, has been a little quiet over the last 2.
I do think Indiana's picked up their energy on the defensive end.
6 to shoot. Cloud up top. Boston defending. Cloud trying to get to the back. Poked away by Mitchell. Mitchell racing ahead. Gets right by Stewart. And Indiana creeps closer and closer as Kelsey Mitchell steps on the gas.
This is where New York's championship pedigree can come in. Can they handle the adversity right now? This crowd is in it.
And a foul against Bonner as she was chopping through. And an offensive rebound for New York. They'll reset. Jones again down low. This time just whipped down by Bonner. Bonner furious. Thought she was fouled as Cole trying to deny Sabrina. Sabrina sheds her. Oh, a little witchcraft from Ionescu as she gets to the cup.
That's where that fitness and extra strength comes into play. Can handle that contact.
Clark has been 0 for her last 11 from 3 as she dishes it off. This time Mitchell trying to fight through the contact. Clark left open. Is this the one? No. Off the heel. Bonner volleyballs it free. Here's Hull to drive. It opens up. Hull right to the cup and draws the foul. So the Fever.
Picking up again, full court pressure. I think New York needs to get Stewie going.
Johannes, step back triple, rainbow three, no good. Jones chases it down. Hull forced to the backcourt. Ionescu no good on her long attempt. Clark with the rebound as she pushes it. Hull trying to spot up, kicks it into Boston. Boston back to Hull. Hull, tough shot. Jones reclaims the board. And now Burke will handle the show, and Burke gonna dribble it off her leg. And a turnover, Fever ball.
Good hustle by Aaliyah. You gotta believe she's gonna knock down a three before the game's over with.
The gravity is always present with her, and you've talked about how defenses have to stretch so far down the court. Here's Mitchell, sets her feet. Mitchell raising the three, and we've got a tie ball game. Burke cutting, and a foul on Clark. Advantage. Clark sees two defenders, spin dribble, draws three, loses the handle, turnover, New York back the other way. Sabrina spots Stewart, lines up a three off target, batted alive, bodies on the floor. Clark 1-on-3 trying to split the defense, goes into traffic and reverses it off the glass. Stewart driving and picks up the foul, but when she was a sophomore at Iowa, she's never had 2 games in a row where she has not made a three. Yet here we are, Indiana trailing by just 1.
To go back to your point about New York, I think they need to solidify their defense right here, contest the shots, and then move the ball on the offensive end.
Clark wants the clear out. Jones trying to keep up. Mitchell to Boston, baseline, Buddy bounces in. And the lead goes back to the Fever.
Making the extra pass.
It's the 18th assist. Ionescu no good on the three. Swatted out of bounds. And that'll be Indiana ball.
More than one pass to from a good shot to a great shot.
You pointed it out early in this quarter. You're seeing a lot of one-pass shot, no-pass shot possessions for New York. Clark, step back three. Oh, she hit it and draws the foul. Welcome back, Caitlin Clark.
In the first half, Indiana.
Cloud defended by Mitchell. You see the physicality on display from Indiana. Can New York chop it up? Johannes in and out. Rebound to Gardner. Don't want a Bonner. Rips it away.
And a quick one here, 2 for 1.
Clark stutter step goes right by Stewart, but blocked. Big time collision.
That was not a foul. That was a block.
That's just a terrific pass.
Play by Stewart.
Clark trying to get it inbounds. Cunningham can't pry open, and a turnover on the baseline. And you pointed it out.
You can't have
late turnovers the last couple of quarters.
You cannot have game slippage right here. You are in the game with a lead, and you've got to execute better.
Cloud brings the dribble out. About a 9-second differential between shot and game clock. Gardner, 5 to shoot. Cloud somehow catches it. Her three, no good. Rebound ripped down. Jones trying to go up with it. Stewart trying to bat it alive. Knocked out of bounds, and it's going to be... Clark gets it. She's got time. Cloud defending. Clark trying to create some airspace. Long three at the horn. Oh! Caitlin Clark rising from the ashes here in the third quarter. And Indiana with an 8-point lead.
It was 5 dribbles, not 4, but enough to create separation. Play the way they want to play.
The Fever have generated all sorts of momentum in the third quarter. Still a lot of basketball left. What do they have to think about here?
Well, nothing changes defensively except for you ratchet up your effort even more. I do believe Breanna Stewart is going to have something to say about the end of this game. She did have a quiet third quarter.
In the last minute and 4 seconds of the third quarter, Caitlin Clark hit 2 threes after being 0 for her last 12 dating back to the last game.
See, that was a quick 7 points.
Mitchell, the three, no good. Boston chases down the rebound. Finds Howard and an easy 2 as the Fever now lead by 10. Cloud crashing through the defense. Mitchell straight ahead. Oh, and misses. An easy lay-in. Bookmark that. And Cloud still slow to get off the canvas. As she is hobbling now on the baseline. Ionescu trying to dance. Flips it over to Stewart. Her three, no good. There's a lid on the rim right now for New York. Clark to Boston. Mitchell coming off the handoff. Mitchell draws 2. Back to Boston. Can't get it. Howard right there. Indiana going spitting, whirling, twirling, and a foul. Again, the footwork on display, but there's still nearly 8 minutes.
So you go right back to it.
It's the 5th. You get the sense New York, they are battle tested. They have no problem trying to walk back in the Indiana Fever. Cunningham now will initiate the offense. We saw this earlier in the first half. Clark flaring.
Showing zone.
Howard, catch down low. Howard right through the contact.
Really good
Big
ball
bucket.
movement. Really good. Reversing the ball against the zone.
It's the 20th assist for the Fever. Stewart puts it on the floor. Mitchell comes over with the double. Burke will try the three, no good. Clark can't get it. Cloud racing to it, and a heads up. Tough play from Cloud.
Smart play by Natasha Cloud, doing a really good job of reading that ball off the glass and being aggressive. New York's got to get more aggressive.
Got the first step, and this time Cloud pokes it away. Bounce pass threads the needle. Stewart and New York inching closer to Cloud 9 right now as they trail by 6. Natasha with a couple of big plays for them. Clark, step back, has Stewart dancing, the three, no good. Rebound to Boston. Clark right to Howard, scoops it a little too strong. Ionescu with the board, and Cloud now just jogging behind the rest of the players, pulls up, trails, thinks about the three. Stewart, what a catch as she creates the separation. They want continuation.
W's, who to get the ball to, when and where, and it takes time to figure all that out. What can Natasha Cloud do? Natasha Howard.
Jones bodies a couple of defenders, gets the offensive rebound put back in just like that. It's a 4-point game.
And to that graphic, Stephanie White told us they are trying to figure out different rotations and combinations.
Boston nearly lost it. Clark right there to pick up the change. Boston fouled by Cloud. She was trying to catch the pass from Clark.
Thing up. Good rescreen by Boston.
Boston fakes the pass. The hook shot, no good. Sabrina not wasting any time, getting it down the floor. Nearly traveled. Gets it back to Jones. Jones, long three. And we have got a 1-point game. And the New York in-game adjustment come for the Fever now.
Well, I think you need to keep Caitlin Clark with the ball in her hands in the middle third with Aaliyah Boston. That's the best action they run, with Kelsey Mitchell in the corner to be able to shoot threes.
Mitchell, a courageous three, no good, off target, and New York can take the lead on this possession.
I mean, once Caitlin Clark gave the ball up, New York didn't let her get it back. And with Lexi Hull back in the game, you bring a little more defensive energy right now.
Jones sizes it up. Oh, Jones with a massive three, and New York has taken a 2-point lead. Clark to Boston. Boston dumps it off to Hull. Boston this time gets it back. Boston patient, trying to 1-2 step. Jones, excellent job of standing straight like a statue.
Staying vertical. Jones so dangerous at 6'6" in the trail position for three.
Sabrina, baseline jumper, can't get it. Ball bops around and scooped up by the Fever.
I think that's too quick.
Mitchell to try and take the lead back, rolls out. And Stewart takes a hard collision from Cloud as they were both chasing down the board. 4 minutes remaining. New York 2-0 on this young season. Indiana 2-1. Split a pair of games against Atlanta. Now we have a foul against Hull as Burke was trying to turn the corner.
When you play with two bigs like New York has, and they have the versatility that they have, when Jones can trail, she can do this.
Cup MVP and a finals MVP.
And she just delivered commencement at GW, which is her alma mater.
Sabrina stop and pop off target. Bonner will secure the board. Indiana is scoreless on 7 of their last 8 possessions, trying to find the rhythm once again. Clark well defended by Cloud. Tough fadeaway jumper. And Stewart with the rebound.
You can keep Sabrina on the left side. You want to keep her on the left side.
Stewart clears some space. Cloud thought about the corner 3. Back to Jones. 6 to shoot. Jones with the mismatch. Free throw line jumper too strong.
I thought she could have rolled Clark a little bit deeper into the paint on that.
It's Boston, the pump fake. Stewart goes crashing down. No whistle. Boston fighting for the ball. And a big time finish to tie it up at 84 apiece.
We're still in May, right, Jordan? It's still May.
The tenacity of Aaliyah Boston feels like a playoff game right now, I'll tell you that much. Both these teams want a seat at the table. Amongst the elite this year in the WNBA, New York trying to repeat. UNESCO finally, after a couple of misses, it's a clutch jumper.
I mean, that's the way you got to guard her. That's just how good she is. Good offense beats good defense.
2-point lead for the Liberty. Just under 2:30 left. Clark working with a little crossover dribble. Slices through the defense and a finish with the right. Who can get the next stop? Sabrina with Boston on her. Pounds the rock. Sabrina right to the cup, draws the foul, and she'll head to the cup.
And can shoot it with great range.
Misses the first, though, so UNESCO has a chance to give New York the 1-point lead with 1:56 remaining. Keep in mind, New York 1-9. Make that Indiana 1-9 in their last 10 games against the Liberty. It was a fourth-quarter comeback last July, in which the Fever got the win, and she missed them both. Tie ball game.
That rarely happens.
This crowd is on their feet. 2 screens for Clark. Jones defending her. Clark trying to get to her left. Spins, picks up the dribble. Boston cutting. What a find by Clark. No whistle. Jones cutting ahead, and a foul from Clark behind, and that will send Jones to the coach's challenge. As Jones hits the first free throw, and now what a big rebound. 1 minute left. Clark to Boston. Boston flips it up, no good. Tapped alive. Cloud chases it down. Under 50 seconds left to play. Rolls out again for Sabrina.
2 great looks. Kelsey Mitchell looks at us and shrugs her shoulders like, wow, she missed 2.
She's going for the kill shot on both of those. Now a timeout on the floor. Indiana dodging a couple of balls. Clark step back 3 for the lead. No good. It's a race to the ball. Stewart falls to the floor, and it's ruled a jump ball.
And New York was trying.
Cloud race down the floor. It's Boston and Stewart. Boston controls it. Bonner picks up the dribble. 9-second differential between shot and game clock. Tie game. Clark gets to the hip. Clark dumps it off. Bonner blocked at the top. No whistle. 1 second left on the shot clock.
Put it up herself.
It's got to happen quick for the Fever. Mitchell gets it, puts it up. Mitchell, no good, hits the rim. New York will have a chance. They call timeout. 7 points season. Battle back from 15 down.
The second shot, too. You got to make sure everybody boxes out.
Cloud the catch, back to UNESCO. Sabrina turns the corner. Sabrina the bump and draws the foul with 2.9 remaining. So Sabrina will head to the line. She missed her last 2 free throws, but now the Liberty the lead.
I mean, she turns the corner and gets downhill. I don't know, Alexi Hall vertical. Maybe that's offense-initiated contact, and maybe Stephanie White's going to take a look at it.
Beaver do still have their challenge. They had a successful one earlier.
I would wait till she looks like she's ready to shoot free throws, then I'd call it.
Does not call the challenge. First free throw's good, and New York takes a 1-point lead. Indiana with the reset timeout. Clark checks back in. Sabrina, who's been so clutch for the Liberty, hit that big-time 3 in the finals against Minnesota on the road, and now a timeout for Indiana. The reset timeout. You can't huddle, you can just advance the ball.
Yeah, so Caitlin Clark's probably not going to inbound the ball. Tasha Cloud's going to be draped all over her.
Cunningham to inbound. Here's your final play of the game.
You got time for 2 dribbles.
Screening action down low. Clark has to get open. 1 second left. Clark doesn't get the shot off. Cloud locks